Welcome to The Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed. Today, we're cutting through the noise of earnings season. We're focusing on a really key player in cybersecurity.
That's right. We're diving into SentinelOne's latest Q2 FY 2026 earnings call. It's, a fascinating look at how they're navigating the threat landscape.
They're really shaping the future of security, especially with AI.
Exactly. We'll unpack their financials, their strategy, and, what it all means.
Let's get straight to the numbers then. The results that really caught everyone's attention, they just reported a Q2 fiscal 26 where they crossed a major milestone.
They certainly did. Annual recurring revenue, ARR, soared to $1.0 billion. That's a solid 24% jump year over year.
Okay, $1 billion in ARR.
And revenue.
Revenue for the quarter hit $242.2 million. Also strong, up 22% year over year. Came in slightly ahead of what the street was expecting too.
Right. And here's where it gets, really interesting for profitability watchers. Non-GAAP EPS of 4 cents.
Beat consensus by a penny. And that non-GAAP operating margin, 2%. That marks a real shift, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. A clear move towards operating profitability, driven, they said, by a record net new ARR contribution of $53 million in the quarter.
53 million net new. Wow.
Yeah, and the market reaction reflected that. Very positive. It shows, alignment between their story and what investors want to see right now.
Okay, so beyond those headlines, let's unpack this a bit more. What really drove this quarter's success, digging into the financials?
Well, the momentum was pretty broad-based, actually. Customers spending over $100 Ks a year in ARR. That grew 23% year over year.
How many now?
1,513. And average deal sizes hit a new company record.
Okay, bigger deals too. What about internationally?
Also strong. International markets were up 27%, now making up 38% of total revenue.
So nearly 40% from outside their home base.
Exactly. And even with heavy investment, non-GAAP gross margin held steady at 79%. Very impressive.
And future visibility, RPO?
Remaining performance obligations, grew 26% to $1.22 billion, plus a healthy balance sheet. $1.2 billion in cash and investments. No debt.
That's a strong foundation. Okay, let's pivot to strategy. AI is obviously central. What innovations are really making a difference on the platform?
Absolutely. AI is key. Their AI-first roadmap is really showing up in places like Purple AI that's seeing, believe it or not, triple-digit growth.
Triple-digit.
Yeah. And attach rates are now hitting over 30% of the licenses they sell.
And the impact for customers, is it tangible?
Very. They're reporting things like 55% faster threat remediation, 60% lower likelihood of major incidents, and a huge ROI, like 338% over 3 years.
Oh, wow.
They're even closing 7-figure ARR deals just for Purple AI itself now.
Okay, so it's not just a feature, it's becoming a significant product line.
Precisely. And they're not just stopping at endpoint protection. You asked about expansion earlier.
Right.
Around half, about 50% of their quarterly bookings came from non-endpoint solutions, things like their data, AI, and cloud offerings.
Showing real diversification.
Definitely. Their AI SIM, for instance, is positioned as the only AI native SIM out there. It's even listed now in the AWS AI Agents and Tools Marketplace. That's a good signal.
And they still maintain leadership in endpoint.
Oh, yes. Consistently recognized. Gartner Magic Quadrant leader for the 5th year running.
I also saw something about a new licensing model, Flex. How does that fit in?
Yes, SentinelOne Flex. That's their new unified flexible licensing model. The idea is to make it much simpler for customers to adopt the whole Singularity platform.
Easier adoption, easier expansion.
Exactly. They said the reception's been outstanding. Mentioned one deal with an 8-figure total value already. It lets customers deploy new capabilities seamlessly, driving larger initial deals and faster expansion. Less friction.
Okay, makes sense. So, bigger picture, what does this AI push mean for their future, especially with generative AI exploding everywhere?
Well, that leads right into their latest strategic move, acquiring Prompt Security.
Okay. How much was that?
Around $180 million, and it's aimed squarely at securing Gen AI and what they call agentic AI usage, addressing those new risks like prompt injection, data leakage.
Things people are genuinely worried about with enterprise AI use.
For sure. It's seen as a natural step into data loss prevention, DLP, but right from the endpoint. It positions them to lead in this really crucial emerging area of security for AI.
Security for AI, not just with AI. Interesting distinction.
Exactly.
So turning to the outlook, What did management guide for Q3 and the full year?
Okay, for Q3 fiscal 26, they're guiding revenue of $256 million, non-GAAP gross margin around 78.5%, and non-GAAP operating margin stepping up to 4%.
4%, continuing that profitability trend. And for the full year?
Full fiscal year 26, they raised the revenue outlook. Now $998 million to $1.002 billion, midpoint right at $1 billion. That's 22% year-over-year growth.
Hitting the billion-dollar mark for the year.
Yep. Non-GAAP gross margin projected between 78.5-79%, and non-GAAP operating margin expected around 3% for the full year.
Sounds like a clear path. What about free cash flow? Always a key metric.
Yeah, the CFO, Barbara Larson, she reaffirmed their commitment to positive free cash flow for the full year, expecting it to track maybe a few points higher than the operating margin.
But they're still being cautious.
They are, maintaining, prudent assumptions for the second half, mindful of macro conditions that could still impact deal timing, sales cycles, even though cyber remains a priority.
Right. Sensible. CEO Tomer Weingarten called it a landmark quarter. What did analysts push back on or dig into on the call?
Well, they were definitely keen to understand the drivers behind that record net new ARR number, asking about the balance, new logos versus expansion.
And how much came from new products?
Exactly. Specific contributions from Purple AI, data solutions. There was also a lot of interest in SentinelOne Flex. How new is it really? How does the money flow? That kind of thing.
And the prompt security deal.
Yeah, questions on the long-term revenue potential there. And the timeline for security of AI becoming a major revenue driver. Management's response consistently pointed to broad momentum, strong AI adoption, and the potential of Flex to transform deals.
Okay, so pulling this all together for someone watching the sector, maybe an investor, this company's stock has been, let's say, volatile. Does this quarter change the narrative?
I think it really does. Look, the stock was down significantly over the past year, about -ish 27.4%, while the sector ETF was up 9% and the S&P up nearly 17%. But these results and that positive after-hours pop suggest a real narrative shift is underway. From just scaling to profitability to actually scaling with profitability, they're showing operating leverage as the platform grows. That's a maturity step investors like to see.
It really feels like they're trying to own that intersection of AI, data, and cybersecurity.
That's exactly it. They're leveraging their AI native foundation, the strong net new ARR, the raised guidance, expanding margins. It points to durable growth, potentially.
And the prompt security acquisition feels timely.
Very timely, especially after getting apparently a lot of interest at the Black Hat conference just recently. It's a critical catalyst in that booming Gen AI security space. Plus, this multi-product strategy helps customers consolidate, reduce that tool sprawl headache.
Which is a huge selling point right now.
Absolutely. AI-driven automation is a key theme for buyers.
All right, let's transition. It's time for our This Is Not Financial Advice segment. Remember, this is just us exploring an outrageous but plausible trade idea, like pitching to an investment committee. Purely hypothetical.
Okay, considering everything we've discussed, Q2 performance, market reaction, the AI security moves, here's an idea for the committee to chew on, let's call it, the AI enabler play.
I'm proposing a long position in SentinelOne, maybe targeting, say, $25 by year end. The core thesis, it's this AI enabler narrative. That prompt security acquisition, it isn't just incremental. It positions them as potentially the foundational security layer for enterprise Gen AI adoption, which is exploding.
So betting on security for AI becoming essential infrastructure. Exactly. We already saw the record attach rates for Purple AI, the immediate interest in prompt security post Black Hat. It suggests enterprises urgently need this and they want it integrated. We're betting on accelerated land and expand, fueled by SentinelOne Flex, especially as security for AI moves from theory to actual budget lines in the second half.
And the financial support, a re-rating.
With the raised guidance and the operating leverage kicking in, yes. A re-rating based on this pivot to AI infrastructure security, a massive greenfield market, seems highly plausible. You could structure it maybe with some long-dated calls for upside leverage, hedge the market risk with a tight stop loss, of course. This is really a bet on SentinelOne becoming the secure gateway for enterprise AI, which should translate into ARR acceleration beyond what's currently guided, committee.
An interesting pitch indeed. Okay, wrapping up this deep dive, what an exciting quarter for SentinelOne, hitting that billion-dollar ARR mark, achieving operating profit, and making a very bold move into securing AI itself.
Yeah, it's quite the combination. Their focus on an AI-native platform expanding beyond endpoint. It really suggests they're positioning themselves well, poised to capture a significant share in this evolving cybersecurity landscape.
And just to reiterate, as always, this deep dive is for informational purposes only. Definitely not financial advice.
Right. And for you, the learner, perhaps the big takeaway here is to think about just how integrated AI security is going to become. For every single enterprise adopting these powerful new AI tools, is the market fully appreciating these pick and shovel plays, the companies building the security foundation for the AI gold rush? It's certainly something to ponder as AI continues to reshape everything.